It's finished up here at the Emirates. Arsenal 5, Leeds United 0. I said in the build-up to this game that we needed a performance, that we needed a display that was going to convince people. And I'd argue that in the first half an hour or so, we didn't really see that. Arsenal struggled for rhythm and tempo, I thought, in the early stages of the game. Leeds United set up pretty well. They were stubborn. They frustrated us. But Set Piece FC struck again. And I think when you look at the performance today, there's a lot of things that you can take away from it. There's a lot of positives, and there's a lot to kind of unpack. So we'll do that in a lot more detail and in a lot more depth, of course, on the full podcast tomorrow. But just in terms of my initial reaction, look, let's get the negatives out of the way first and foremost. We've lost Bukayo Saka to an injury that looks like it might be a hamstring problem. That is bad news. And we lost Martin Odegaard as well in the first half of the game too. So, you know, hopefully those two are going to be okay. Hopefully we'll have them back for the trip to Anfield next weekend, because they're obviously two very, very important players. Having Madueke come in and put in a pretty good performance, I think is a positive in that sense. It means we've got that depth now, and obviously Eberechi Eze will be in the mix as well next weekend. So it's not as bad as it could have been, but obviously we're hoping that neither of those two are going to be ruled out for any significant amount of time. Before kick-off, we got the Eberechi Eze announcement. The news broke officially at 5 p.m. today, so about half an hour before kick-off. And around about 10 minutes before the game begun, Eberechi Eze was paraded out onto the Emirates pitch in front of the fans, and what a reception he got. I have to say, it was quite emotional actually, because it was quite clear that Eberechi Eze was feeling very emotional about the fact that he finally made this move. It's a move that he's been wanting all summer. It's a move that I'm sure he dreamed of even prior to this summer, and there was all the talk about Tottenham and all the rest of it. There would have been a point where Eberechi Eze wasn't sure whether this was going to happen, so to get his moment with the fans ahead of kick-off was a really, really nice touch. And there's a really great piece on The Athletic that I had a sort of skim read through before kick-off, in which they kind of break down how it all came about and how it unfolded. So we'll probably cover that off in a lot more detail on the main pod tomorrow. But just in terms of the game today, Set Piece FC, you know, that's what they call us, and they call us that for a reason, because we're so dangerous from them. And when you're struggling to break someone down, when you're struggling to create enough chances from open play, if you can turn to that, it is brilliant, isn't it? You don't want to be over-reliant on it, but you certainly prefer to have that in your armoury, and you prefer to have that as another weapon, as an alternative way of scoring goals. It was a brilliant header from Jurrien Timber to open the scoring after a wonderful Declan Rice cross. And then there was a second goal right on the stroke of half time that I feel took the game away from Leeds. I know at 2-0 it's never done, and you never want to sit there and say it's over or that you're over the line. You cannot afford at 2-0 to get complacent or to relax, but you really do get the feeling with this Arsenal team that once they get their noses in front, more often than not, they're going to be able to see it out. The second goal was a really interesting one, because there was a combination of things involved that made it look really, really easy and really, really simple. First of all, the original move broke down. Declan Rice, really quick, really sharp, spotted an opportunity to come galloping backwards and take the ball away from the Leeds United player, who just didn't see him coming. That was a demonstration of Declan's athleticism, ability to eat up the ground, and his desire to win the ball back. It then breaks to Zubimendi, who plays a first-time pass forward early. It's really, really important. We keep talking about Zubimendi bringing that to the table. Forward passes, vertical passes as early as possible. Then Timber slips Saka in with a brilliant ball, and Saka does the rest. From that angle, not a lot you can do, but he literally flashed it past the goalkeeper. He put the power on it and made it impossible for Perry to keep it out. And Arsenal 2 goals to the good at the break. And you felt at half-time going in that it was game over. Then, of course, we get a third goal. And the third goal comes from Victor Gyökeres. And that was fantastic to see, because watching him in the first half, I have to say, I did start to worry a little bit. You know, he looked a little bit heavy. He didn't look as mobile as I'd like him to be. His touch wasn't great. He looked a little bit messy and untidy in his game. And you're looking at him and you're thinking, is he overthinking things? You know, how important is it that he gets that goal soon? Because you're a big money striker. You've come in with a lot of expectation around you. And of course, there's a pressure on you to deliver. And the longer you go without getting the monkey off your back. The longer you go without breaking that duck, you end up sort of feeling the pressure and maybe getting into your own head a little bit. So for him to score a trademark Victor Gyökeres goal, I think was brilliant. He peels off to the left-hand side, he receives the ball, picks it up in a wide area, and then drives inside until he creates the room for the shot. And he goes back across towards the inside, towards the near post. Really, really good finish, and Perry was caught out by it. And you could see a visible kind of relief, couldn't you, in his celebration. So, maybe he was a little bit nervous. Maybe he was starting to worry a little bit. Everybody's talking about him, and there was a lot of talk about his performance up at Old Trafford the other day. And while we discussed it and we talked about what he needs to improve on and what he could do better, in all fairness, the team generally didn't create a great deal up at Old Trafford. So I thought that some of the analysis and some of the fallout around him was definitely a little bit harsh. He's got the goal now, and he managed to get a second one as well from the spot on 95 minutes after Max Dowman dazzled on that right-hand side again and won Arsenal a penalty. I've got to be honest, I didn't think it was a penalty. Watching the replays back, I thought he was extremely fortunate to get away with it. He sort of kind of engineered the contact. It felt to me like he was looking for it. I mean, at that point in the game, 4-0 down, I don't think there were ever going to be too many complaints, but personally I didn't think it was a pen. Obviously Timber got a second goal as well, being in the right place at the right time, showing his instincts and ability inside the penalty area to sense danger at both ends of the pitch, which is great to see. And so a 5-0 win, you can't really ask for much more. We got an Eze announcement, a parading of Eze, and we got the 5-0 win. As I said right at the top, there are a couple of negatives. Those negatives are that we've lost Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard to injuries. Both of them had to make way during the game. I'm hoping neither of those problems are serious. Martin Odegaard's one felt less serious at the time because he continued to play and then went off. Then Bukayo Saka's feels like a hammy, and that for me is a worry because that was the big injury that he got last season. Is it the same one? Is it the other one? Difficult to tell from my position here, and I'm sure there'll be lots of analysis over the next sort of 12 hours or so, people trying to figure out exactly what the deal is with Bukayo. But with a trip to Anfield next week, we all want to see him back, we all want to see him ready, and we all want to see him as a part of this team because he showed, didn't he, on 46 minutes today, what he's capable of and what he's all about. I'm going to leave it there. I said I wanted a show. We got a show in terms of the scoreline. We got a convincing performance in a lot of ways. Lots to unpack, lots to break down, and we'll do that in full on the main pod tomorrow. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all the rest of that stuff, and I'll see you all on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and have a wonderful rest of your Saturday evening. Up the Arsenal. Goodbye.